little bit of housekeeping. Basically, what I'm going to do is just going to roll with the presentation. It's not going to be really long. I'm really trying to kind of keep breaking a lot of this subject up for you guys. Oh, it's huge. The more I write, the bigger it seems to get. But it's quite a lot. This one's going to be quite simple, but I want to leave a lot of time. So I'm sure you guys have lots of questions by now. So I wanted to go through the presentation, keep all your questions until at the end, and then what I'll do is I'll take questions. I can't open up the mics or anything, but I'll just let you guys send me message me. So we'll do that at the end. Does that sound cool? Brilliant. Okay, fantastic. Let's go then. So here we are then. So I just want to say it again, thank you ever so much for joining me on this course, and it's just so nice to be with other people that want to learn about this, because it's a massive subject. It affects millions and millions of women, and the fact that you guys are interested, one, I guess, to help yourselves, and two, you want to help other people. So it's fantastic that I can hopefully share this knowledge with you, and I'm learning more and more each day. All I do is research and read books and medical papers and stuff. So yay, rock and roll. Anyway, let's move on. So what is the menopause? Basically, this is what we're going to go over this evening. It's what is the menopause, how it affects women. I've put on there what we can do to help, but I'm not really going to go into a huge amount of detail for that tonight, because that in itself is like another kind of webinar, which I'll probably record. I won't do that live. I'll record that and put it on the site. But to start us off, just to get us warmed up, I'm just going to show you this video. Okay, so technical hitch number one then. I can't right now work out how to share this video with you. I'll share it on the group later, rather than wasting all my time going through and showing it to you. It's not a problem. It's not the end of the world. It's just a little video of Dr. Christiane Northrup, who's written a couple of really great books. So I can come back to that, or I'll post it in the group for you guys later. So let's move on. So there's a lot of words in this one, but I will read it for you. It's what is menopause? The menopause marks a time in a woman's life when her menstruation stops and she is no longer fertile or able to become pregnant. In the UK, the average age for menopause is 52, while in the States it's 51. The menopause is a normal part of life, not like. It's a milestone, just like puberty. It's not a disease or a condition, even though that's kind of what the medical world want us to believe. Even though it is the time of the woman's last period, symptoms may begin many years earlier. Some women may experience symptoms for months or years afterwards. So according to this dictionary, the menopause is the permanent cessation of the menses due to ovarian failure, termination of the menstrual life. It sounds quite menacing, doesn't it? So menses equals shedding of the blood during a woman's menstrual period. So the Peri Menopause, it says, is the 3 to 5 year period before the menopause, when a woman's estrogen levels start to drop. I think that can be a longer period, personally. The thing with the menopause is there's no set rules. You know, it's so different woman to woman. So as I said before in one of the previous recordings, the menopause actually kind of only lasts one day, if you can imagine. It's literally the last day of your last period, and then you're post-menopausal. But you don't know that until you've had a bit of time, so you can look back and you know that's your last period. And perimenopause is those years before menopause, when estrogen levels start to drop. So it's just kind of getting used to that terminology. So those perimenopause years is when we start to see changes in the woman's body. Hormones start to change, and these are only some of the symptoms we experience. So irregular periods, that can mean literally they're either, they can become irregular, and also the type of period as well. Sometimes you'll get them heavier, some women have them lighter, and then you have periods that you don't actually ovulate as well. So things start to change, mood changes. Personally, from my personal experience, this is the one that has really affected me. It's the mood changes, sudden mood changes, things like depression, anxiety, that kind of stuff, anger, tearful, and also sore breasts as well. It can get very tender. Bloating, digestive problems seem to be an issue with the change in hormones as well, and with that lower fertility. So as we're aging, our fertility lessens as well. So I was going to go through early menopause, but once I started writing about it, again, it's another big subject, and I didn't really want to, take up lots of your time this evening. So I'll either do that as a live one, or I'll just do a little recording by itself, or write an article or something on that one, because there's all sorts of ways women can go into an early menopause, either naturally or surgically, and they have a different impact on the woman. So I will go over that at another date. So, physically, what happens to a woman? Now, this is not a definitive list by any stretch of the imagination. We've got here weight gain, and with that body shape change. So women say that their waist disappears and the pear shape disappears, and we become more apple shape as the body starts to store body fat now in the abdominal area as we go through the hormonal changes. And again, that's going to be explained at another time, because that is one I know that lots of you want a lot of information on. So also we've got the infamous hot flushes and night sweats. These can be quite deliberating. That's the wrong word. Some women get them more than others. I personally experienced them, but not really badly. I used to get really bad night sweats though, and that again is to do with the hormonal changes. I've got another description of that as we move further on. Also, as we go on, we've got dry skin. Skin starts to change. We start to lose collagen as we get older. Joint pain as well. Seems like women who go through menopause, that's when arthritis starts to happen. And women experience joint pain, bloating. Lots of people seem to suffer with digestive problems. We've got the vaginal dryness and atrophy as well. You also got prolapses and that kind of thing. Because estrogen is the youthful hormone, helps build the collagen in the body as well. So you can see when we start to lose some of this estrogen, what happens to the body. So hair, it seems like hair seems to move around the body. We seem to lose it from some places and it grows in other places. Big sprouting hair coming out of chins and that kind of thing. That can be due to testosterone changes. Sleep deprivation, massive. You got the hot flushes that wake women up, and you're up in the middle of the night, you're having to change sheets and clothes, and it's hard to go back to sleep. And if you're not suffering with night sweats and flushes, you may find you go to sleep okay, and then you're awake, wide awake, 2 o'clock in the morning, and you can't go back to sleep. And with that, of course, comes the tiredness. I know when I was experiencing bad symptoms of menopause, that dragging, it was like I was walking around the place in treacle, very, very tired. And I put memory loss, because I really suffer with memory loss as well, and I know lots of people suffer with that same problem. And also, it's just getting older, right? It's that aging. all those things that come with aging, all the changes to our body, this is what's happened to us as we're moving through towards menopause, or through towards our last period. So just going back a little bit to the hot flushes, I'm going to read this. It's a bit, there's a few long words in here that I had to sit there and say a few times. So hot flashes, which is the American terminology, are due to the hypothalamic response to declining ovarian estrogen production. The declining estrogen state induces something, I can't pronounce it, neurons in the arcuate nucleus of the hypothalamus to release gonadotropin releasing hormone, which is GnRH. We'll talk a lot more about these as we go through the course. So as it's releasing that, what it is doing, as the luteinizing hormone is being stimulated and released, it pulses during the period and estrogen production, and this LH has a like an opening effect, and that apparently leads to flushing. Sorry, can you all hear me still? Because Alison just said she can't. She's, where are you? She can't hear me. Cool. Chris can. Oh, okay, cool. Okay, I didn't do anything, so I'm not sure whether it's internet connection or stuff, but do tell me if you can't hear me. So this is our hot flushes. I was reading the other day as well, also about hot flushes, that it can also be to do with our adrenal glands. I was talking to Marilyn Glenville, who's renowned for hormones and nutrition, and she was saying that if you wake up and then you have a hot sweat, she says that's your adrenal glands crying out, basically. But if you wake up and you're already sweating, that's more to do with menopause. I need to look into that a little bit more, but it's quite interesting how that little bit of a difference. Okay, so psychological or emotional effects of the menopause. So just as, what's that word? Deliberate. I can't say it. Karen just said what it was a minute ago. Hello. Oh, you can hear me breathing. Lucky you, so you're getting breathing. Right, can everyone hear me? I'm back. Yay! Right, okay. Okay, so let's go back to the psychological and emotional effect effects of menopause. So depression, going back to those mood swings which I've got at the bottom there, you know, huge highs, huge lows, you know, suddenly women don't want to get out of bed in the morning, losing their mojo, losing their kind of oomph for life. So we've got loss or a low libido, irritability, panic and anxiety. My mum, when she went through the menopause, it was just when I was getting married and we couldn't work out, she was getting really anxious and really panicky. And you know, we just didn't really think about it at the time when it was, but it wasn't until afterwards we realised kind of that's when it must have been. It must have been her going through a menopause. Anger, and I've put mourning because it is, some women we do kind of go through a bit of a mourning process as we come to the end of our fertile years, so it's kind of moving into a different age, and some women kind of feel a bit of a loss at that, which is fine, and I think it's fine to feel those feelings, but what I would like to hopefully portray and get across the message that actually, you know, menopause, let's get rid of that stigmatism. Actually, it can be a really positive and empowering part of our life. And, you know, we live so much longer now. So if women are going through, if you say on average, in their 50s, early 50s, you know, we've got another 30, at least, you know, 30 years of living. So it's a big chunk of our life. So let's not write it off. So I just want to touch on health problems. We're going to touch on the big three, and I will talk about other ones as well. The ones that seem to come up when I've been asking the question is we're talking about our bone health and osteoporosis, heart health and breast health. They're the three things, the main ones that come up, especially post-menopausal. So bone health, looking after our bones. So when we get into menopausal age, it's always good to have a DEXA scan. So it's DXA, dual energy X-ray absorptiometry. So it's a bone density scan. You can get one through your doctor. I had one done. You just lay in a bed and you get X-rayed, and it just tells you basically. It's done through your hip and your spine, and you get a reading to see what your how your bones are. And as we're getting older, again, these declining levels of our hormones means our bones don't grow and don't repair themselves as much. I have got a really good video for this. I might try at the end to show you the videos I was going to show you, because I think I might have sussed out how to do it. So I'll come back to this one. So this is a bit of a it's a little diagram here explaining about the bones. So, being fit pros, we kind of, you know, we've all got good nutrition, and we know keeping, you know, the calcium levels good through vegetables. It's going to help with bones. Also magnesium, also vital for bone strength. I will do supplements as well at some point. We will go through the supplements. And the decrease, so low calcium diet, decrease in estrogen can have this effect on the bones. And then that leads on then to this thin and brittle bones. And these, you know, these older ladies having falls and breaking bones quite easily. You know, we've all done a lot of impact training and stuff, lots of jumping around, which has been brilliant for our bones. So we should all be pretty good. Even though I'm in the early menopause, my bone scan was pretty good, and I put that down to decent diet and lots of weight-bearing exercise. So if we move on to heart health, the figures show that you know, as women get older, we then get more susceptible to having heart attacks. And you know, some of this stuff is just down to us getting older, and some may be to do with the menopause as well. So we get lots of symptoms that can be dealt with, can be put down to menopause, aging, and then some other kind of, sometimes it's thyroid and that kind of stuff as well. So it's never a seems to be a clear cut what symptom is caused by what, just to make it even more confusing for us. So, increased risk of heart attack and stroke is postmenopausal. And it's thought that the estrogen keeps the heart healthy. So going back to that estrogen being good with collagen, keeping the skin and tissues healthy. So we've got here thickening or hardening of the arterial wall caused by glycemic stress, trans fat, emotional stress, and micronutrient deficiencies. So we know, you know, keeping a good diet, keeping our blood sugar levels balanced, emotional stress as well. There's a lot of research now, literally, you know, our heart really is affected by our emotional stress, and that does have a big, big impact. So stress, I think, has much more of an impact on us than we realise. And we've got breast health as well. As we're getting older, the same thing, as we age, we do actually have a higher risk of breast cancer. And we also get, coming back to that, breast pain as well. So looking after, so as we're getting older, very important to check our breasts. But I've put an HRT here, and I've put a big question mark. Now the next two slides are a bit, I'm going to read them out, but there's quite a lot of text in them. 10 years ago, there was a big study, and what happened was they came out and they basically said, after all this research that they had done, HRT, in their opinion, we'll go through in a minute, caused breast cancer. And what happened is you had you know, millions of women all around the world basically throwing their HRT away because they were absolutely terrified that it was going to cause breast cancer. And that's the way it's been for the last 10 years. So there's been this big, you know, big controversy, big hoo-ha about HRT. It's been given really bad press because of this study. So I'm going to read this through because, you know, big things have happened this year to actually say that the study wasn't actually quite right. So this happened this year in 2012. So after 10 years of debate regarding the risks and benefits risks and benefits of hormone therapy, 15 top medical organisations have come together to issue a statement of agreement regarding the benefit of hormone therapy for symptomatic menopausal women. It was July the 9th, 2002, when the controversial, highly publicised Women's Health Initiative published its assessment of hormone therapy for the prevention of chronic disease and concluded that the risks exceeded its benefits. And there's this report that everyone went crazy and throwing the HRT away. So it's basically said here, the purpose of this statement is to reassure women that their providers that hormone therapy is acceptable and relatively safe for healthy, symptomatic, recently postmenopausal women. Over the last 10 years, there has been a complete abandonment of hormone therapy in some settings, accompanied by reluctance to treat women who would benefit from relief of their symptoms. As a result, some women sought unproven alternative therapies. We want to emphasize the difference between taking hormone therapy short-term for treatment of menopausal symptoms versus taking hormone therapy for prevention of chronic diseases. So it sounds like they've had a bit of a turnaround for HRT. Then it just goes on, they've agreed to these points. Hormone therapy is an acceptable option for the relatively young, up to the age 59, or within 10 years of menopause, and healthy women who are bothered by moderate to severe menopausal symptoms. Individualization is key in the decision to use hormone therapy. If women have only vaginal dryness or discomfort with intercourse, the preferred treatment are low doses of vaginal estrogen. Women who still have a uterus need to take progestogen along with estrogen to prevent cancer of the uterus. Women who have had their uterus removed can take estrogen alone. Both estrogen therapy and estrogen with progestogen therapy increase the risk of blood clots in the legs and lungs, similar to the birth control pills, patches and rings. Although the risk of blood clots and stroke increase with either type of hormone therapy, the risk is rare in women aged 50 to 59. and an increased risk in breast cancer is seen in 5 or more years of continuous estrogen with progestogen therapy, possibly earlier. The risk decreases after hormone therapy is stopped. So I think there's still quite a lot of research to be done in this area, but what it's quite good to see is, you know, it's come out that maybe it's not quite as bad as we thought. And there are different types of HRT. There are, you know, the very synthetic types, and you do get some more that are more plant-based. And you can have bioidentical hormone therapy, which is what I had, which is much more of a bespoke treatment. So rather than being given a pill and, you know, being told basically on your way, I had to pay for it privately, but I had lots of blood tests. I was monitored a lot on my mood, how I was feeling, all my symptoms, and it was a much more, I suppose, bespoke service. Of course, much more expensive, but I really did get good results from it. So I think what I'm just trying to get across is, you know, it's a very individual choice with HRT. And the way I see it is, you know, it's hormone replacement. So, you know, I think it's good to take it up to a point where we would naturally need those hormones, but we don't necessarily need replacement hormones for being replaced until the day we die. You know, for me, I'm definitely going to be looking at getting some kind of hormone replacement treatment. I don't know what it's going to be. I was on it, but I had to stop because my body decided it wants to give it another shot. But I will. Yeah. So I'm gonna go down that avenue because I've still, you know, I'm 40 and I've still got another 10 years until I'm at the average menopausal age. So that's kind of where I'm coming from in there. I've got here post menopause, the rest of your life. There doesn't seem to be a lot of talk really. What happens after the menopause? Do you know what I mean? Once we've been, all these symptoms do settle down in time, depending which way you go and which options you take. And we will talk about those at another time, all these different options you can take. But talking to women, it seems like it does settle down, but then you do still get women that are still having hot flashes, you know, in their 60s and 70s. And the reason for that at the moment, I don't know. And I'm sure if I researched it more, maybe I'd get a better understanding. So what we've got here is, I've said, what can we do to help? And I know this is why you guys are here. You want to know what you can do to help your clients and to help yourself. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put together an article, a document, going through all these points and then saying what we can do to actually treat all those conditions, you know, supplements and that kind of stuff, and put it into something that maybe you can give out to your clients, just like a fact sheet, another fact sheet. Right, okay, so let me just go down. Someone posted this on my Mrs. Menopause page today, and I quite liked it because I just think menopause is such a dry word, isn't it? So she put here, I really like this. She put, this phase of life used to be called the change of life. And I can remember my mother commenting that she was going through the change. The reason that it's now called menopause is because it has now been hijacked by the big pharma and the medical profession and medicalized. They can't diagnose a genre called the change, so they have to give it a name. Calling it the menopause enables them to diagnose it, and once diagnosed, they can medicate. I put up a great link from an and I'll share that link. I don't know if I shared it. I'll share that link from this ex-pharmaceutical sales rep, which was quite interesting. And she says, I think the change reflects positive changes and the opportunities to change that occur at this time in a woman's life. And I really like that, what she said. And it's quite interesting, isn't it, when you look at it about how the medical, because they do, it's all about money, isn't it? They all want to make money out of us by labelling it. But actually, it is such a natural thing. And I'll share some stats with you. I haven't got them to hand now, but I'll share some stats with you. Actually, I'll share a video with you. And this woman explains about, she's an anthropologist, and she's been around all the world, and she's studied women of this age and how it affects them and where they are in the standing of their communities and stuff, and it's really interesting, and we've definitely got a lot to learn from them. Right, I've put Q&As, but I just want to see if I can just show you these 2 videos. Okay, so stay there, don't go anywhere, because I think I've got to stop sharing this screen and then go and just find these YouTube videos. So just bear with me 1 minute.
The good news is that the menopausal transition is an exciting developmental stage that changes you at the core level. It is designed to heal all the unhealed parts of you. That is the wisdom of menopause. That's why I call it that. There are no mistakes. This is not just a bunch of raging hormones meant to torture you. This is a huge... The good news is that the menopausal transition is an exciting developmental stage that changes you at the core level. It is designed to heal all the unhealed parts of you. That is the wisdom of menopause. That's why I call it that. There are no mistakes. This is not just a bunch of raging hormones meant to torture you. This is a huge birth canal. And by the way, women have this hormonal change that's very obvious, and our periods get wacky and all the rest of it. But I swear to you, men go through the same thing. And for the men in the audience, this material is equally relevant to you, except the stuff about the hot flashes. All right? It's equally relevant, so pay attention. All right. This is a birth canal where you reinvent yourself at the deepest level. And when I did the show on mother-daughter wisdom, you may remember that I used the house as the metaphor for the self, women dreaming of houses all the time. And the first stairway of your life is from your mother's womb to the first floor of your house. And then up to the second floor of your house is this birth canal that is Peri Menopause, okay? This stairway to the second half of your life. And it sets the stage, this period of time sets the stage for the rest of your life. This show is called Menopause and Beyond, New Wisdom for Women. There's a lot of beyond. I was talking to an 89-year-old friend. She said, I like that beyond part. I like that. All right, here's the deal. The CDC now announces that the average life expectancy for a white woman in the United States is 80.5 years. And for a black woman or Hispanic woman, 76.1 years. The difference is because black and Hispanic people have been socially disadvantaged and also economically disadvantaged. They are also genetically more likely to get certain diseases such as diabetes and heart disease. Now, one of the fastest growing groups in the nation are centenarians, those who are 100 and above, and those over 85. The other good news is that the gender gap is closing. So men and women are starting to live equally long, which I consider really good news. It was 7.8 years difference in 1979, and it's 5.3 years difference in 2005. Now, by the way, the men who live the longest are the ones who hang around with good women. All right?
Okay, guys, can you still hear me? Yay, cool. Brilliant. Christiane Northrup, she's brilliant. She's fantastic. She's written a couple of really good books. I would definitely recommend some more of her stuff. I won't play the other video just now, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask if there are any questions right now, see if I can help you with. What's her name? Hang on, I'll write it in for you. So it's Christiane North. Yeah, clearly I can't spell. It's an E on the end of her first name. Yeah, Dr. Christiane Northrup. So she's written a couple of books. She's got Wisdom of Menopause and, hang on, I'm looking at my bookshelf. Women's Bodies, Women's Wisdom is another good one. They're huge books. I think Karen actually has just got one of those ones. So guys, any more questions for me right now? Anything else you want me to cover in future? I mean, I've got loads of stuff you've already told me you want to know. But is there anything else that I can help you with right now? Oh, I'm very quiet. No? Okay, well, I hope you really enjoyed this evening. I have recorded this, and I will put a link to it up onto the membership site. Okay, here we go. I've got some questions. Yes, Louise. Yeah, absolutely. It has been recorded. Well, I hope so. I've pressed the record button, so I'm going to put it onto the site for you guys to be able to listen to again. Oh yeah, Karen, we've spoke about this, didn't we? I am going down the HRT route, and I would like it to be plant-based. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually seeing my consultant in 2 weeks' time, and I'll be picking his brain. I've also got another book which has got all about the different types of HRT we can take. So I'm going to be going through that and doing a little bit more homework as well. So once I know more, obviously I can share that with you. So Hazel's asking about soy. Depends what research you're reading. You know, everyone's been saying how good it is for us because the phytoestrogens. You know, it's especially really good for estrogen levels. Then you read different research, and they say actually it's going to make a blind bit of difference. So I don't think it's going to do you any harm at all, especially to eat, you know, raw soybeans as well. It depends what form you're taking the soy in. You know, if we're eating really bad processed tofu and stuff, you know, that's not going to do us any favours at all. But I think if you're eating soybeans, it's not going to do us any problems. Do have some recipes actually that include, you know, the endemi beans, which are really good for you. The thing is, you know, with all of this kind of stuff, you get the answers you look for on, you know, when you're researching. So if you want to look at the answer to say, yeah, actually, you know, soy is going to be really good for menopausal symptoms, you're going to find the answer. The thing with menopause is it's very much a personal journey. It's very much trying to find things that work for a person. And I know that doesn't really help you guys because you'd really like me to say this, and this is what works, end of. But, you know, it doesn't work like that. So I can't really give you much more of a clearer answer on that. Flaxseed, yeah, flaxseed is apparently supposed to be very good as well, same thing. I would look at your sources, and if you're having flaxseed, I would probably recommend actually milling your own. I use flaxseed oil on vegetables a lot. Trisha's asked about soya milk. Nah. Soya milk is highly processed usually. It is a minefield, Hazel. Yeah, soya milk, very highly processed. Apparently soya is one of the most highly sprayed with pesticides products ever, in the world. So I don't touch soya. I drink coconut milk personally. That's what I like. And I haven't touched soya for a long time. Nut milk's pretty good. Again, look at the ingredients. Sometimes they're loaded with sugar, and we've got to think, you want to go organic and try and reduce the amount of pesticides. How are we doing, guys? Any more? I'm not. Yeah, coconut milk's good. Yeah, Cara, I have the it's like in a Tetra, isn't it? I have that, and I drink that. I really like it now. I'll tell you what, drink it. Have you ever gone back occasionally and tried to have cow's milk and a cup of tea? Oh, I can't go back to it. I can't drink it anymore. It's funny how your tastes change. How are we doing? Well, if there's any questions that you guys think of afterwards, just pop them into the group and I will answer them. Oh yeah, Karen, yeah, sure. I've got nutrition is going to go in week 3. Nutrition's going to be quite big. I've got nutrition, I'm going to give you some recipes, and we'll talk about supplements all in week 3. Oh, without a doubt. Without a doubt. But you know what? The nutrition's going to be much of what we know anyway. It's clean, clean eating, and then I'll go through some specifics that are supposed to be really good as well. But I do have a big, as we've been going through, I know I put out the kind of modules that I was going to cover, and I've gone through and I've written down everything that you guys have been asking about, and I've written those on. I'm really going to do my best to cover everything I can over the next few weeks for you guys, but it is a huge subject. It is massive, and the more I dig into it, the more it comes out. So we'll just keep plodding through with it all. Okay, guys. Oh yeah. You know what though, Chris saying about male menopause, they go through their midlife crisis. They do go through a change as much as we do. And you know what, they get all my husband, thank the Lord for my husband, because he's just takes it with a pinch of salt when I was going through my mad, crazy hormones, mood swings and everything else, they do get it a lot. So I'm very blessed at having a very patient husband. Okay, cool, nice one, guys. Well, I'm going to leave you and let you go. And it's really, really, really good to have you guys on board and loving all these questions and wanting to know more. And I will be booking another one of these in for next week. Going to do it on a different day, so we can maybe get some other people on board, probably about the same kind of time. So you guys go and enjoy what's left of your evening, and I shall see you all on the other side. All right then, guys, see you later.